Please welcome to BraveWords, Streaming for Vengeance, a longtime friend. I'm probably their biggest fan on the planet. I'd like to say that. Michael Gilbert from Flotsam and Jetsam. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks a lot, Tim. Thanks for having me, man. It's always great to talk to you, my friend.
Dude, the last time we were together
Yes, I remember portions of it.
in another hemisphere,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
right? A lot of water has actually gone under the bridge since then. Wow, you know what? The hits keep coming, and I won't mince words with you. The consensus is you guys just keep delivering the goods. Like it's like overall, and right, you see it online now. These days, you can see everything, right? And there's not a bad word about Flotsam and Jetsam. How does that feel?
Yeah, I guess there really is blood in the water here in Arizona. It feels pretty good to do another release. We've talked about this before, but we were kind of on the fence about if it was going to be up to par with Blood in the Water or not. And when we finally kind of let everybody hear it, our road crew, you guys, the record label, and everybody kind of came to the consensus that it's equal or if not better, which is music to our ears. And again, I go back and listen to it a couple times, and I'm proud of the guys and what we've done with it, and just very grateful to still be relevant in this business after what 38, 39 years or whatever it is.
Well, you're on a roll. Aren't you too old to be on a roll?
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, the old guys still got some gas in the tank, I guess.
Tell Keith Richards that, right? No, but it really is. You must look in the mirror and go, wow, to be still relevant 40 years. Know what I mean? You look at your circle of friends and family and people. No, what I mean? That's quite the commitment, obviously, but quite the achievement. Most people around you haven't like don't even achieve like a quarter of what you've achieved.
Yeah, we're lucky. I mean, we just keep going and going, and there's no end in sight for what we got going on. You're seeing a lot of bands these days that are our age and or close to our age, and a lot of them are hanging it up. And so what we're worried about is like who's the new blood coming in? What's going on? Who's going to take over these? Who's going to be the next Metallica? And it's kind of I don't know the answer to that. I mean, will that ever happen again? I mean, it won't with Metallica. They're already the biggest metal band ever. Uh, but like what's going on with business right there? So like I said, we're very fortunate to be doing it, and people are buying it and they're listening to it. So we feel very lucky.
Well, you know what? We're roughly the same age, and I think we are quite lucky because growing up through the six, not growing up through the 60s, but I was born in 67. So you know what I mean? The heyday of like the birth of Cream and Zeppelin and the Beatles, and then going through all the 70s. You know what I mean? And the 80s, obviously, when thrash became this beautiful thing. Like we really have lived through an incredible musical era. And you're right, everyone that's being born right now or in the last like 10, 20 years, they haven't gone through that.
Yeah. Did you ever think it was gonna like metal was gonna turn out like this to be mainstream? I mean, it really is mainstream right now, but it seems as though Ken and I have had some extensive conversations about this. It seems like pop radio and just pop music, YouTube and all this seems like they're just trying to get metal out. Like it's it's still very difficult for metal bands to come up in the business, and it just seems like it's another battle. Back in the 80s it was the record labels. You couldn't get a record deal because you had pointy guitars or you were a metal band. Now it seems like it's still the curse, but it's with streaming. So just the business is constantly meandering through all these obstacles, and uh we're trying to figure it out like everybody else is right now.
Dude, I remember being in my high school and listening to Kill 'Em All. No one had a clue who this band was. And here we stand. They're arguably the biggest band on the planet,
Oh yeah, never thought that was going to happen. I
right?
always thought it was going to be like a underground punk thing that I thought it was going to be a phase, but no, the phase just 30, 40 years later is still going on.
But do you pay attention to the peers that you grew up with, like the Metallicas over and the Overkills or bands like that? like what they're releasing, what they're doing?
I try, but there's so much out there, so saturated right now. If you're a listener of metal, I mean, you got a lot of options, and I think that's another thing as well. With it being so easy for bands to get their stuff out there, it's also really easy for the listener to, go to the next song or go to the next band or just keep moving. If it doesn't happen for them in the first minute or even less, maybe the first 30 seconds of a song, they're on to another band, or you know what I mean? There's just so many options.
When we were walking around in a funny drunken JD haze at Summer Breeze, I love saying that, dude. That was so much fun. The dinner and then the day. You said we're not going back to the hotel. Why would we go back to the hotel? Right?
You guys had the killer hotel. Oh man, that was so much fun. Oh geez.
Yeah. No, it was absolutely crazy. But there was one thing you said to me. You said, Tim, I need to keep finding the greatest riff. Tell me about the writing for I Am the Weapon.
Uh yeah, it still is. I think that's what keeps the gas in the tank is Steve and I are both still looking for the perfect riff. We're getting close, but not quite there. I Am the Weapon's really close to, we've got, I believe, in my opinion, and I am biased, that every song is got a strong, really strong chorus, and just every song is really strong on this record. Everybody's got different opinions about it. That's fine, but I don't know. It just kind of came together. Ken, yeah, is like he is our weapon for sure. He's the Swiss Army knife of the band. He's a world class producer, great drummer, and super fun guy to hang out with, and funny and everything. And I love him like a brother. Even if I wasn't in the band with him, I'd still probably call him every day. But um, to have an asset like that in your band that can take a song from the demo stage all the way to a finished product, whether it be lyrically, or he might come through and say, "Hey, can you change these riffs around a little bit? Let's do some edits." And just to have that ear, it's an art form in itself. So to have that in your band is a pretty killer asset.
BTO had a really famous line in the 70s, you're only as good as your last record. Randy Bachman said that
Really.
on one of the songs from Not Fragile. Anyway, so the pressure of repeating or doing better.
Yeah, because we had a lot of, even with the end of Chaos, we started having some, well, and the self-titled. From then on, we started having really, really killer reviews. So trying to beat ourselves, I guess, at our own game, and remain successful at doing that, it's a pretty tough task. But I think we did it. When we finally sent the tapes off to, or the all the stems and everything off to Jacob Hansen, and we got them back, I think we all just took leaned back a little bit and said, we might have accomplished it here. It's always like a magic moment when you send the unmixed tracks over, and then you get them back mixed. It's like Christmas. It's like opening a Christmas present. So, yeah, that guy did. He's an artist as well, and taking
Absolutely.
our album, yeah.
Now, this is really funny, actually. Um, when you found the title, didn't you all look at each other and go, why hasn't someone used this title yet?
Well, we had a different title at first. It was going to be called Black Wings,
Okay.
another track on the record. And we decided on that. And then our road crew were the guys that were like, no, it's got to be I Am the Weapon. So and then we submitted that to the record label AFM, and they said, yeah, I Am the Weapon. And it's a super strong track. So we're like, all right, might as well do it. And of course, we had Andy Pilkington with the artwork, and he came through with a video for us, which was really cool. Made Flotzilla look like he is the weapon. So it worked out really good, and it kind of sounds like it sounds like what should have happened after Blood in the Water.
Right.
It sounds like encyclopedias. You got A to C, D to F or whatever. It just sounds like our encyclopedia right now. We got Into Chaos, Blood in the Water, I Am the Weapon. So we'll see what comes next. I'm sure it's going to follow the same syllables.
Oh, so there's going to be another record?
I'm guessing there's probably going to be another 5.
I won't quote you on that. But do you see like finished artwork from Andy, or do you guys give him like little sketches? This is what we want to see. How does that work?
I send him just like a generalization of what we want to do.
Mhm.
And the artwork that you see on the album is his first treatment, I guess you would call it. When that came through, I sent it over to the guys, and everybody, it was unanimous. It was this. Yeah, fuck yeah, it was perfect. So and the guy's locked on. He knows exactly what we're doing and what we want. I guess that's why he can do it in the first try.
And collectively, are you guys looking at the vinyl? You're looking at t-shirts, merch, you know what I mean? Like really milking this beautiful piece of artwork.
We're just starting to. I just ordered I Am the Weapon shirts. It's got the chorus on the back, album cover on the front. So those are going to be available pretty soon. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff. We've got flasks now that have I Am the Weapon album cover on there. Yeah, who knows what's going to go in that flask, right? I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Manhattan.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah, we're gonna try to do all kinds of stuff this year. It seems like we're up for some extensive touring as well. We just signed with FM Management, and that's going to be a big move for us. And everything that's going around right now, all the talks that are happening, I'm pretty stoked, pretty nervous about how busy I'm going to be next year.
So talk to me about 40 years in this business and the transitions and everything you've seen. And part of it, you left for a little while, right?
Yeah, I did because of it's funny we're talking about management. One of the reasons I left was because of management. We had bad management back at that time. Um, just wasn't for me. And then, my kids, I was taking care of my kids, single father. The answer for me was just to step out for a little while. So I
Right.
stepped out for about 10 years, came back with like a re-entry with Ugly Noise. And that was, Newstead was a part of that, at least some of it. So that was one of the reasons what we were
Mhm.
throwing around is maybe he might come back and I would come back and Kelly would come back at the same time. But it didn't work out for Newstead to come back, and so he has songwriting credits on some of the songs there. But um, it was okay for a reentry record. It had good, good moments. If I can spit it out here, it had good moments, and it had some moments that were ugly noise, for sure. But you know, like reentry back into the business for us.
What would you tell people that are in the same situation? I'm not just saying music, but just walk away, refresh, whether it's a year or 5 years or 10 years. Um, what would you suggest to people?
Yeah, I would definitely suggest that and recharge the batteries if needed. But also before that, I would say manage your goals. Like there's a lot of players. I know when I started, I was like, I want to be a rock star. That was my goal. I wanted to jump from practicing guitar all the way to Angus Young status. And that's really unreasonable. But for a 17-year-old, that was what was driving me. But if you can make small increments of your goals, it's more obtainable, and then you don't get disappointed when stuff doesn't happen, right away when you want it to happen. But don't stop. Don't ever stop doing what you're doing. If you love doing it, just keep doing it.
Now, when we were walking around Summer Breeze, Brazil, it was remarkable, the women, because it's always been, no disrespect, like a sausage fest, right? But in Brazil, it was crazy. It was like literally like a 50-50 split. So watching, and obviously it doubles your demographic. It's now men plus women.
Well, I think that's one of the things with metal, because dudes will usually follow where the girls go. And maybe that might have something to do with attendance on a lot of metal music these days, because it is a sausage fest. It's like 1% girls. What guy wants to show up where there's no girls? It's all dudes. So, and yes, there was definitely some beautiful women in Sao Paulo. Uh, and I don't know, it was pretty cool. It was like being back in the 80s, actually.
Yeah, no, it was really bizarre. Wow, I think I still have the hangover from that day. Couple of random questions, not a couple, a few. We had a great conversation. This is really funny actually because I pointed this out in your dressing room at Summer Breeze, Brazil, and I'm like, why is there an ampersand instead of an and sign. And you said, Tim, there is a lot of financial discussion about whether on contracts. So please, let's get this on the record, because I think it's really fascinating. It sounds really anal, but it's fascinating to me why it's an and instead of the ampersand.
I can't tell you how much money that cost me. Uh, Somewhere along the lines, when someone's uploading music to iTunes, or the ampersand got caught in there someplace, and I don't know whatever happens to any royalties that goes if there's an ampersand in it. I don't get royalties from that, I don't think. Um, at least, are you familiar with Sound Exchange?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I have to go through our whole repertoire. I have to go through and just say I have Blood in the Water, that song, Blood in the Water, under Flotsam and Jetsam, and then I'll have to resubmit it with Flotsam ampersand Jetsam.
Wow.
It's been a pain in the ass.
Well, initially, who thought of the name then? And the correct writing of the name.
Oh, that's Newstead. He still owns the rights to it too.
So he owes you the money then, damn it.
Oh, he owes me a lot of money.
Well, he made enough from the Black Album. Come on. Do you guys talk about that? Does he aware of the problem?
No, we never really talk about Flotsam stuff. Whenever I talk to him, it's always about like his projects and stuff that he's got going on, and where he's at, because the guy, he seems to be moving around quite a bit, and his paintings too. Have you seen his paintings?
Yes.
They're
Yes.
they're awesome. They're awesome. They're super unique, kick ass.
Let's keep talking about adventures, because one of our favorites is going to be floating soon.
Yes. I'm
What
going to
is
see
your-
you in like 3 months.
Every fan is just when I talk to people who haven't been on this thing, I'm like, this is going to change your life when you get on this thing. And what is your favorite, aside from obviously playing, or when it comes to you, the buffet, what's your favorite, your favorite part of being on 70,000 Tons of Metal?
I truly love like meeting the people, and just talking with people. It's really cool to be right there with them and see the excitement. Uh, it's like the meet and greets and stuff like that. We did meet and greets in Sao Paulo. It was a huge one there. And I always love talking to the people. They have different accents. They come from all over the world, especially at 70,000 tons. They're from every corner of the world. So I definitely want to talk to as many people as I can, especially if they're interested in Flotsam, or they have a story about a song. I hear a lot about like, oh, I've heard Escape from Within and it saved my life back in the day, and back in the 80s, and I'm so grateful to this band. So I love hearing stuff like that. It's my favorite gig too. I love it.
Pardon me, sorry?
It's my favorite gig. I love it. So much fun.
That is top of the heap.
Yep.
Wow.
And because of that, because you get to, you know, it's super professional. It's fun. The music's great, and I get to hang out. They're my peeps, the metal peeps. It's awesome.
As a collector, I've shown you, and you've graciously signed a bunch of my things. Thank you so much. What's some of the weirdly weird stuff that these fans are showing you that you might have not seen before? I'm not talking about breasts, but
Breast. I've never signed any breasts.
okay.
I signed a guy's prosthetic leg in Germany one time. I thought that was kind of funny. I'm signing the cards as they're going by, and I'm shaking people's hands, and this guy takes his leg off and slams the leg up on the table. I'm like,
Wow.
all right, sign the leg, and he was off. I thought that was pretty funny. And then what's that little? I don't know. It was like a little stuffed animal this last time at Vakken. It was like it's like the Muppet, one of the Muppets it was that I signed.
Okay.
So that was kind of funny. I wasn't used to that. They same thing. They slammed the Muppet down in front of me. I'm like, all right.
Was it Animal, the drummer? Animal?
No, it was like it was like a mouse. I don't know the name of it. I can see it, but I can't believe I can't remember this right now. 2 o'clock in the morning, I'll be waking up and oh, that was it. I'll send you a text.
I'm going to butcher her last name, but have you been paying attention to Maya Neelakantan, that 10-year-old Indian guitar player that was with Testament a couple of days ago? It's just remarkable, the talent that this young lady has. What do you think?
That's the kind of stuff that makes me want to just stop playing guitar.
I knew you would say that, actually.
So I'm like, why bother? I can't do that. So holy shit. Yeah, there's some serious talent. She's super talented and she's going to leave a mark on the world for sure.
And today we reported news on Instagram from her that Jeff Hanneman's widow gave her a guitar.
Wow.
Yeah,
One of Jeff's old guitars?
one of the at least limited edition guitars. Yes, crazy,
Wow.
crazy. Do you have time for the Brave Words rapid fire? These are more
Yeah,
left,
sure.
these are more left
Sure.
field, right field kind of questions. Um, what's your favorite song on British Steel?
Oh, you've asked me this one before.
Have I?
Uh, Metal Gods, I think.
Okay, I've got different.
Ah,
So
I don't, man. Every song on there is really good.
I know, I know. I leaned to Steeler actually, the last one. I love that.
Yeah. Can I change my answer?
Of
I know
course,
it's rapid fire. Well, rapid fire. I mean, isn't that on there?
that's on there.
That's a good one too, because it's got the chunky guitars. You see, I'm indecisive.
And you know who answered the same thing? Rob Halford. I swear to God.
Metal Gods?
No, rapid fire.
Oh,
He
okay.
said it gets the crowd going, obviously.
Oh yeah, that's a great song.
What is the best food on the road and where?
Del Taco. And it's usually in the West.
Okay.
Road food, unless you want like a sit down restaurant. Our favorite place to go is called Casa de David in Amsterdam.
Okay. Okay.
So what we do is I got to get you out there and drink La Trappes with us. There's a little cafe that we sit in the afternoons and drink La Trappe doubles, the Belgian strong beers, and then right after that we go over and eat dinner at Casa de David. It's killer Italian.
Very nice. Well, we had a lot of fun at that Brazilian steakhouse in Sao Paulo, though.
That was fun. Dude, you had me drinking wine. I'm not a huge wine drinker, but you had me drinking
That
wine and it
and
was
that photo
delicious.
that Joel took, oh, awesome moment. Absolutely. Well, you know what? You need a good, strong Shiraz, good, strong red to go with that meat that we were eating, right? So, the moment that you decided that music was your life.
Oh, I still remember this. I was sitting there on my brother's stereo system with headphones on, and I was listening to the Jack and the whole reverb on the guitar. It's so open. It sounded like I was there. And from then on, it was pretty much I need to be that guy playing guitar.
This is the second time you've mentioned Angus Young.
Yeah, he's pretty high up on the totem pole for me.
I spoke to Chris Slade, Razor's Edge, AC/DC drummer, obviously. And he said actually Malcolm was like, he was the man that ran the band. And when Malcolm Young died a couple of years ago, I just thought because of his rhythms, he must have taught tens of millions of guitar players how to play guitar. And now we've lost him. Tragic loss. Absolutely tragic.
Yeah, yep. In my eyes, he was the best rhythm guitar player ever, and I think Scotty Ian would probably agree with that because I know he's got the same disease I've got, which is a AC/DC disease. Um,
Scott keeps
eh,
spreading it though.
yep, that's funny. Good one.
That was quick, right? Have you ever asked for an autograph?
uh, no, I feel weird. Uh, I feel weird doing that. I have been starstruck a couple of times. Joey Ramone, when I met Joey Ramone, I was like, ooh, I didn't know what to say. Well, I was looking up, because the guy's like 13
Right.
feet tall. But yeah, starstruck by that guy, just because he's freaking Joey Ramone. And then a guy that's not metal was Brooks and Dunn. Dunn. That I met that, and he was 13 feet tall too. And I was just like, man, you wrote Neon Moon and Boots Good. I'm not a huge country guy, but I can definitely respect good songwriting. So
So aside from your passport and your phone, what do you always travel with?
hmm, GoPro. Are
GoPro?
we still rapid fire?
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, GoPro.
Is this new record coming out on vinyl? Of course it is.
Yep.
What was your first vinyl record?
Uh, Kiss Alive.
Ah, okay.
I wanted Kiss Alive too, but I couldn't afford it, so I just got Kiss Alive.
And
It was a
that
little more.
actually celebrated an anniversary, I think, a couple of days ago.
Yes.
So
Yep.
yes, it's a life-changing moment for a lot of people, right?
Oh
Both
yeah.
mentally and musically.
And you've seen the photo of the guys in the back, right? 40 years later, they're in the same stadium holding up the sign again, and
I
they
know,
revisited the picture. How
crazy.
cool is that?
I'm surprised Gene doesn't own it. Right? So you're sitting at a bar with an empty chair. Who would you like to approach you and sit down beside you?
Malcolm Young.
Yeah.
I would like that conversation. That would be pretty cool.
What was the first AC/DC song that you learned then?
The first AC/DC song I learned was it was a whole lot of Rosie.
That's a pretty tough song, I would guess.
The very first song I learned on guitar to learn by ear was uh, Crazy Train. And I didn't realize I was too dumb to realize how hard it was to, and it's like climbing uh, the dome in Yosemite. It's like it's such a great guitar solo and everything. I never got it right, but I got the rhythms pretty close and the main riff pretty close. But uh, I was a dumb kid back then.
Was there ever a gig that you regret that you turned down?
Uh, no, I don't. Well, you know what? I When Newstead called me for his Newstead project, or Newstead Metal back in the day, I couldn't do it right at the moment, and I had to turn it down. And I wish I wouldn't have. I wish I would have taken it on and done the gig with him.
Mhm,
I don't
mhm.
know if it'd still be going on or not, but uh, I would love to have the two projects going. Not quit one to do the other or anything like that. But he ended up getting Mike Mushok to do it, which is I'm in pretty good company there, So that guy's a great guitar player. I don't think I even compare to that dude, but to be considered for it, I'm honored.
And you guys have a prolific covers band, right?
What's
In
that?
Phoenix. You have a prolific covers band, like the gig that you did. You do like weekly or monthly, right?
Yeah.
What's like the aside from maybe AC/DC, what are other covers that are some of your favorites to cover?
Actually, my favorite song to play in the cover band is Lido Shuffle, Boss Skaggs.
Wow,
I,
that's such a
I
great
love it.
song.
Oh, it is. I hated it until I had to learn it, and then after I learned it, it's my one of my favorite songs now. It's just fucking awesome, if I can say that. Foreigner, we play a lot of Foreigner. We play uh geez, a little bit of everything. We've got some Skinnerd going on, and even some Billy Squire. It's good to keep our chops up, So,
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
what you
good for
said.
AK to keep his singing going, and he sings all that stuff superbly, I'll say.
What would aside from the hard rock and metal guitar players in quotation marks, what are some of the more mainstream, like a Boss Skaggs, or like that's really tough to cover, like in your opinion, as a guitar player? Who's like,
Oh, Dave Matthews, that's one of my favorite bands right there. And the stuff that guy plays and sings is insane. It's complete insanity. The guy's got total dexterity from his brain in his hand. There's total separation. Um, Other hard stuff would be uh, geez, man, there's so many good players. Uh, Foreigner's pretty hard actually. But I got, luckily I've got guys in my cover band that can do it. I got a great keyboard player, great singers.
right?
So
What do you think of people like Mustaine or Jeff Waters that are playing guitar but they're singing at the same time?
complete insanity. Those guys are so talented. Like Hetfield, that guy. These
Exactly.
guys, it's crazy how talented those guys are. And just to play the metal, just to play just the riffs without singing them is even hard enough. And then to sing over the top of it, like, okay, whatever, guys.
Or if you're familiar with Exciter, look at Dan Beeler. He's playing the
Oh,
drums and fucking singing. Really, dude? What else can you
I
do?
know. Yeah, it's like what is it, tap your head or whatever and rub your belly thing. Like I can't even do that. And those guys he's doing double bass and Singing?
This might be the last question, but the question that you are tired of answering. Is there any question that you're tired of answering?
Nah, nah, not really.
I thought the Newstead thing might be thrown in there, but
No, because I understand, a lot of people they want they're trying to get close to them, They want something. They just want a little piece of something. So I don't mind answering whatever Newstead question is. When they start acting like it's like it was his band and everything that we've done is because of him, that's when I get a little weird about it, But I don't mind answering questions about Newstead's time in our band and my relationship with him, I'm okay with that.
so what's missing in your life?
Ooh, a gold record.
A gold record.
I'm about ready to go down to Walmart and get some gold spray paint and make my own. But you know what? That's the sad thing about it right now is because it's really hard to gauge that. I mean, if they even can, So
No, you're right, because we lived in an era where bands, if they achieved gold or platinum, like that was a huge status boost, obviously, right?
oh yeah,
And now, like now they're adding up fucking 50 different things to right. Back then there was like one thing to add up, right? LP
yeah,
sales.
totally. And now they go by streams, and you don't even know if you don't know. I don't know anything about any of that stuff. We're still trying to figure it out. Spotify, we got what 3 million views on Spotify. I mean, don't I get something? Can I get like a ribbon for participation or something like that? Jeez.
A little trophy. But and this sounds like, and I don't believe any of it, right? Like it's like when you see these accolades, it's like whatever. Anyways, dude, amazing. Amazing to talk to you, see you, listen to you, and it's going to be how many weeks now? How many are you counting the sleeps yet?
We're counting the sleeps to no sleep because I'm not going
Yeah.
to sleep that whole trip.
Seth tells me like I literally have like 20, maybe 20 hours of sleep, like that whole cruise. It's there's something about that second wind and third wind that you go to bed and you're up 3 hours later, and it's like there's a really strange, not strange, but just a really beautiful energy. It's a total family reunion, family affair. And I'm glad that there's some musicians that actually never even leave the room. Speaking of Scott Ian, but yeah, there's really great energy.
Man, yeah. You're totally right about it, and that's why I love it so much. It's huge energy, and it's a blast. It goes by way too fast too. It should be 2 weeks long, but I don't think my liver can handle
My
it.
liver, no, absolutely not. Dude, thank you for what you do. We will see you soon, okay?
Tim, thank you so much. Always good to talk to you. Looking
All
forward
right.
to seeing you, brother.